Hello and welcome to my celebration of life party. I'm super excited right now. I'm at a restaurant which is amazing. I'll give you a quick peek. I've been here before. Big shout out to everyone, the service and everyone here is just so friendly. And I'm going to spill the beans about how the party is gonna go. So, one thing I would like to say, I would like to celebrate my clients, everyone who contributed to me to be able to put this party together. First of all, as you know, I'm a real estate agent, and this is all that I do. So this is the billboard with all the players because I cannot be successful without the team. We have the banker, we have the attorney, we have the building inspector, the insurance agent, we have a professional photographer, and two coaches. And one of them will be my keynote speaker. It's my productivity coach, Jay Henry. And then the CrossFit coach, Capo. You cannot go and live this life and be successful and feel great if you don't have Capo in your corner to tell you what to do when you're at the gym. So what else? I have a surprise for my clients, and we're going to talk about the disc profile, which actually is very helpful not only in real estate but in family life, in business, in life in general. You would like to know yourself in order to be able to handle situations better. And then I have a secret, another secret to share. I will give out tickets to my clients to sit down and have a choice. They can either put their name in a bowl so that I have a surprise for them. I'm going to raffle their names, or if they would like, they can sit down and write a wish. So they can write a small wish, or if they would like to write a big wish. And I have numerous proofs that when you write your wish down on a piece of paper and it comes from your heart and you believe that it is going to happen, it actually is going to happen. So if they choose to do that, they have a box where they can put their wish. And a year down the road, we are going to touch base and find out if their wish came true. What else I have? I would like to celebrate my cousin. My cousin Angela. This is her second book, actually third book, because she had one published about 2 years ago, and this is the second one that just got published. And this is a person who doesn't have a choice. She didn't choose to spend her entire life in a wheelchair. This was not her choice. This was God's choice for her. However, she was able to publish a second book, and it is called My Fight for a Little Bit of Independence. There is no way that I can not show my emotions and not get emotional when I talk about this. So with this, I would like to say, make all of your wishes come true. Never complain. Be happy. Enjoy life. Enjoy every day. Because this is all that we have. And we're here to celebrate our successes. So now that I shed all my tears, hopefully I will not cry the next time I talk about it in front of everybody. I have to tell you, it is so warm, and people were telling me, oh my God, the weather will be so bad, it's going to be so cold, and it is going to be raining. Look at the weather. I mean, it cannot be any better and they have warmers. So it is actually on the contrary. I had a coat. I had a coat in my car. It's going to be in my car. I actually even had to take off my jacket because it is so hot. So this is it. I wanted to share how unbelievably grateful I am to be able to put this holiday together. And this is a very special day for me in my personal life as well, because many years ago, on that day, on yesterday actually, I was able to meet my husband, who changed my entire life. May his soul rest in peace, because he left us several years ago. But I feel like his purpose on earth was to help me move through oceans and just make my dream come true for me and for my son, for our son. And I always make sure I celebrate this day every year with something new, with something different. This was the date when I quit smoking cold turkey in the year of 2000. When I arrived to this continent, I realized that you cannot live here and be successful and smoke. So that's it. I actually not only spilled some beans, I poured my soul and heart out in gratitude and in praising God. And I wish everyone success, health, love, of course, wealth. And let's see what's going to happen today. I cannot wait. Much love to you. And this was your girl Silva from Keller Williams of Stanford. And this is the team. Cannot wait to introduce all of them to you. Talk soon. Bye. Welcome you to my party. I would like, yeah. I feel very special that each and every one of you came to visit. And I have a few surprises for you. I'm going to be short and sweet to the point. Jen Henry, our productivity coach, is teaching us the disc profile. And this is something that I would like to share with you, because it is not only important for us as real estate agents to know how to know ourselves and how to help our clients, but you may find it interesting as a couple, as a mother, as a father, as a partner, as a person, to just know about it. So I have a handouts for you, and Jen is going to talk about it. She is my she is my keynote speaker. And then I have two surprises for you. I have pieces of paper where it will be your choice. You can choose to do both if you would like. Now, one is for you to put your name on the back of the paper and put it in a box. And I will do a drawing for a gift, which if you are the winner of the gift, you will find out what the gift is. I'm not going to announce it. Okay, we'll see. And then the second choice is, because I have many times when I sit down and write a wish to God. I have my God, I pray to God, I write a wish, and this wish happens. I mean, I cannot tell you how many times it had happened in real lifetime in my life. I'm here in the US thanks to me writing to God. Like, this is one example. So if you would like, you can write a wish and you can put it in a box, which is this green box over there. And a year from now, we can gather again and we can find out if your wish came true. You can do it anonymously. You can take a picture of it and just wait for a year and just put your heart into it and just imagine that it had already happened. Yes, so the third thing I wanted to share with you, speaking of choices.
Wish for you?
No, for you. You wish for you. You think of one wish that you wish to happen next year and wait, but you have to write it down. You have to believe that it happened. And the third thing that I would like to share with you is a book. So, speaking of choices, my cousin, she didn't have a choice to spend her entire life in a wheelchair. This was her life and the choice by God. She was actually, she couldn't, this is by birth. So she's almost my age. This is her third book that she actually had written, and the title of this book, Angela, it's My Fight for a Little Independence. So unfortunately for you guys who are Americans, it is in Bulgarian, but I came to show you that anything is possible. Anything is possible. So she can now learn, because she's 100% disabled. She cannot speak, she cannot do anything on her own. And she did this. She cannot speak, but she learned how to speak by looking into a computer, and actually they put a voice into it, so she can actually talk to you. And they used her to help them develop this software in Bulgaria, and it is super. So the point that we are all here is to celebrate life and to celebrate our successes, and that's why I wanted to bring something different and something useful and something fun. And without further ado, here is my keynote speaker, Jen Henry.
Okay, so Silva, do you want to give everybody a handout?
Yes,
so
I am going to give everybody a handout.
Okay. This normally takes me 3 hours to go through. But Silva, and I just did this recently in our office, and Silva came to me and she said, Jen, you know what I really want you to do? And I said, no, I don't. She said, I want you to do this at my party. I said, what do you want me to do what? She's like, I want you to talk about the disc. And I said, why do you want me to do that? And she said, well, because it's so useful and everybody can use it. And I said, okay, I'm happy to do that. I was coming to the party anyway. So what you're getting right now is 4, or actually I think there are 5 or 6 pages in there of what each profile actually is. So I first have to explain what this is. And normally, if we had been working together, I would have had you do an assessment so that you would know what your personality profile is. So just so that you can understand, the purpose of this is to help you understand human behavior and to improve your communication. So I teach this to real estate agents that I coach, because in the real estate business, we are in the communication business. It's a relationship business. Everything that we do is designed to actually have a connection with one another. And when you are working with Silva, or any agent for that matter, you are talking about the most important thing in your whole life, which is your home, where you begin and you end each day. And it is a incredibly emotional and personal situation that goes on between you and that agent, right? And so as an agent, you have to learn how to understand people's needs, their communication style, so that you'll be able to adjust in such a way that they can receive you better and that you can hear them and understand them better. So that's why I teach this. It's something that I use every single day in my life. So you don't just need it as a real estate agent, you need it as a person. So just to give you a little background, there are 4 different personality profile types. And the DISC, D-I-S-C, is an acronym for those different styles. And this methodology was developed actually by a well-known psychologist named William Moulton Marsden in 1928. He also coincidentally happens to be the person that designed the lie detector test, and he is the person who developed the loved comic book hero Wonder Woman. In 1928, for him to develop a superhero that was a woman is actually pretty groundbreaking, so I love to point that out. Anyway, he theorized that people's behavior is a direct result of their innate personality traits, which can be categorized into 4 different traits, and that's what we call the DISC. D is for dominance, I is for influence, S is for steadiness, and C is for conscientiousness. So each of you have a dominant style within those 4 styles. You are a combination of all of those styles, but you have one dominant and maybe a second one that is close to the dominant one, and that indicates how you communicate as a human. In 1950, an industrial psychologist named Walter Clark built on Marsden's work, and he created the DISC assessment. So after tonight, if you guys all want to go and do your own assessment, you can go to, Silva can probably send this to you.
Tony Robbins.
But you can go to Tony Robbins.
And it is free.
Yeah, it's a free assessment, and then you can find out what your profile is. But hopefully I'll give you enough information right now that you can figure out basically what you are, okay? This assessment is still used today. I just gave it to a whole bunch of people recently, and I do this pretty much anytime you begin working with me. I want to understand who you are as a person so that I can coach you in the best way possible. So, why is it helpful to know this? Well, whenever you meet someone, like all of you just met me, or some of you I've met before, but some of you met me for the very first time, right? And you met some other people here today for the first time. And whenever you meet someone, you make a judgment call. It's impossible not to do that, right? So you might have had a thought about me, and I had a thought about you. I think you're a really jovial, lovely guy. I already have this.
Even though I'm bald.
Yeah. And you're very concerned about being bald. But you shouldn't be.
Wear a hat next time.
No, I think
I'm a
you look
comedian
amazing.
too, by the way.
I think you look amazing.
Thank you, dear.
At any rate, if you have this tool, this DISC tool that I'm going to teach you right now, then you actually have a better chance of getting that assessment or that assumption that you make correct. If you don't make the correct assumption, you could potentially get yourself into an argument with someone, especially if it's a client situation or someone that you might meet in a family function that may be a distant relative or something along those lines. It could cause an argument with a coworker, it could cause an argument with a spouse. But if you understand, oh, this person needs to receive me in a different way, I can adjust how I'm communicating in order for them to understand me better. That's the point of this. So this is used daily. This is probably one of the most used tools in my toolbox as a coach, as a real estate agent, as a girlfriend, as a mom, as a friend. And I've gotten so good at it that I really can't not do it anymore. It's just because it's part of who I am. Like, we start having a conversation and I like, oh, this person is probably a C personality, and I just start filtering it in my mind. But it helps me to communicate better, and I think it makes me a pretty good communicator.
Yes. Yep.
So what this profile assessment does is it addresses your observable behavior, okay? Not your intent, but your observable behavior. So Silva asked me to teach you a couple of tricks, right? So the first two things that you want to look at when you are meeting anybody for the first time is their pace. So what I mean by that is when you meet them, or they say, hi, it's really great to meet you, really, really, really happy to meet you. Or they say, hi, how are you? It's really nice to meet you. Their pace, do they walk quickly? Do they walk slowly? I was telling the group in my office recently that when you walk down the hallway to come into the main part of the office, I happen to be the first office that is on the right. And I hear everyone walking down the hall. I literally know who's coming because I know them well enough that if they walk like this and they're loud, I know that is I know who that is. If they walk like this, I know it's Silva. And I literally will, and my back is to the door, and so I play this little game. Yeah. It's because she wears flats all the time, and so her flats kind of like follow behind her footsteps. Yes, Steve.
What's my pace, Jen?
Oh, your pace is pretty fast.
Okay.
But you have soft shoes, so I have to listen a little bit more closely. But Danny and I play a game, and I say, "Oh, that's Jedna." And she goes, "Dang, how did you do that?" I'm like, "I don't know. I just know." So it's really funny because they have to walk on this whole entire section that is a tile. So I can hear them walking, and then by the time they get to the carpet, but I can assess it based on the way the power with which they stand or step, the speed with which they step, and how they are actually carrying their feet. So pace is a very important way to tell what people's profile is. And then the second way is their agreeability. So are they really friendly and outgoing when you first meet them? Are they questioning you? Are they Are they standoffish? Are they guarded? You know, all of these things are your first clues when you're first meeting somebody. Because, you know, when you're first meeting someone, you have to make an assessment based on just a couple of things. You haven't had an in-depth conversation with them yet, so you have to actually gauge just by those couple of things. So if you're in a room like today, and you see someone new come into the room, if they come in really fast and with a lot of energy, you definitely know what they aren't. You might not know what they are just yet because there are two personality profiles, the D and the I, that might both behave in that regard. But you'll definitely know that they're not an S or a C. So as you're learning this, and you guys are going to have some really great handouts there that are cheat sheets, basically, is what I call, that will help you understand, you know, what to look for in a person. And hopefully, ideally, you can read these and try to figure out maybe what you might be. So it does take several observations over time, right? But you can make some guesses based on just those two things that I just taught you about. The most important point to mention is that we all have a little bit of all of this in us. And there is no one right way, right? There's no one that's, you know, oh, the best way to be is this way. No, that's not what this is about. It's really just a manner of learning what each person uses to communicate in their day-to-day life. And then how you receive that and how you can communicate best with them so that they understand you. This is really, really important in relationships for you guys, right? You might learn something really new today that helps you communicate even better with one another. I'd love to tell you that worked well for me to save my marriage, but it didn't. But that's okay. It actually helped me to see, you want to know something? We are so different in terms of how we communicate and relate to one another, we probably shouldn't stay together. And that's okay too. Not that I want to break anybody up, I don't. All right, so what I want you to do is I want you to take a look at your sheets, and we're going to tell you a little bit about what each style is like so that you can maybe figure out what you are and how you can use that in your day-to-day life, in your business life, or in your, you know, with your family.
So which page are we looking at? The last one.
Well, I don't know how you organize these.
I mean, the way you did.
Okay, so the
So
first page that it looks like the first pages you put together are each individual profile.
But it is good to look at this also.
You could do that.
Yeah.
So if we start on the left-hand side with a C.
This one.
Yeah.
This one is best to look at.
Well,
it will take less time.
Actually, you want to know what? Silva, let's
Yeah.
look at this one first. Look at this first, right? 'Cause
The black page?
yeah, the black page, because this is what I first started to explain to you. In terms of the clues that you're looking for when you first meet someone, you'll notice here that there are two groups of people that are very task-oriented, and then there are two groups of people that are very people-oriented. So if they are fast-paced and they're outgoing, they are most likely on the right-hand side of that quadrant, and they're people-focused. So that means they're either going to be an I or an S, okay? Now, it's not too hard to tell the difference between those two, because an I is always, you know, talkative, outgoing, and will probably be a little bit louder than the other person, and they'll be very, you know, gregarious, and they laugh a lot, and everything is, you know, awesome to them, and you know, they're just that people type pleasing person. An S person is a little more quiet, a little more reserved, etc. But they're both people focused. If you look on the left side, these are the task-oriented people. So that means they're very direct, they're demanding, they might not want to talk that much, but they have a task, they have something they need to do. They're like this. What's interesting about these things, if you look at the D and the I, they both can be very fast-paced, but one of them will be much more people-oriented and they love people, and the other one is annoyed by people, okay? People in general, like, they tolerate them, but they'd really rather not have to deal with them at all. So these are some clues that you can look at in terms of when you're first trying to assess somebody without really knowing that much about them. Okay, so now what I want you to do is let's actually look at each individual style. I think this is a little bit easier if we start with this one, Silva.
Or maybe we can have everyone just take another round of food, because their plates are in.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll take a break.
Yeah. Let's take
So based on the fact that Silva just interrupted me and wants to take a break, we're gonna review this in a minute. I'm gonna ask you to tell me what personality profile you think she is when we learn a little bit more, because there was a very specific thing that just happened.
I think it's I.
She's task oriented, right? And she. Okay, so she thinks she's an I, and maybe not everybody has read all the different things, but she could be a D. She could. Actually, you know what? Let's do this before we let everyone go get food. Turn to this page and look at the little cheat sheet thing here, and then you can think about what Silva is while you get more food, and then we'll come back and I will tell you exactly what Silva is.
a little bit of everything.
Well, all of us are a little bit of everything, but you have one style that is dominant. You have one style that is dominant, okay? So notice that your C is a little more reserved, is quiet, focused on details. A D. A D. Well, they don't want a lot of stress or conflict. They're probably an S. And what stresses them is any kind of sudden change. Any change of direction is not good. A lot of pressure or crisis. They don't like that. They don't deal well with that. They hate a lack of planning. If you are someone that is in a relationship or doing a business deal with someone who is an S, and you don't have a plan, they're going to say, well, what's the plan? Then you know, I'm a D or an I. I'm winging it. I don't have a plan. That's not going to work very well.
I apply for this.
And they do not like competition at all. No competition. Don't like it. They don't care about that. Now imagine if you're an S and you're married to a D. You hate competition, and this one thrives on it. So if you're enough of an S and you can be like, I don't give a shit. If he wants to do it's fine. But if you're not, and there's that conflict there, then you have to find a way you're going to communicate better with one another. Okay, the last one is a C. You turn your page to the last one.
I think Andy is a C, but I'm not sure.
No, Todor is a C.
No, I'm between C and S.
Yes?
Well,
I'm
as
a
I
mix.
said, you probably have a
No,
little bit.
I'm a mix.
So the C is someone who's really questioning and curious. They're reserved and they're very reflective. They are punctual. They're never late. They're early, actually. They're very task oriented. They're independent, and they have to have details of everything.
That's it.
That's
Okay.
him.
These are people that
I got some of these.
are
Give me the
typically
details.
accountants. They
Some
like
things gotta
they
be-
like a spreadsheet. They like
that I
everything
can't
to be
get in my-
very detailed and organized. And
That's it.
they physically
I have to know
feel sick
everything,
if
yeah.
they don't have that.
He's
I have
an
no
engineer, by the way.
See, an engineer.
Engineer. Yeah.
Do you feel crazy if you don't have everything like buttoned up and all written down? And
Not too much, but yeah, probably yes.
well, at this stage in your life, you've probably gotten accustomed to, you now know enough that you
Not
can
even
maybe
down.
operate without.
When you have it in your head, it's got to go that way. That's
Yeah,
it. You
exactly.
get the plan, you
Yeah.
know which way it's going to go, and that's how it's got to go.
So the thing that stresses them a lot is being wrong. They don't like to be wrong.
Nobody likes
That's
to
why
be
he's
wrong.
always right.
Nobody likes to be wrong, I guess.
Yeah.
It's always right, of course.
Nobody.
You ask my wife?
They don't like any criticism. They don't want you to criticize them. They don't like any spotty research or a half-assed job. Don't do it. If you're going to do it, you better do it right or don't do it at all.
Of course.
And they don't want to be forced into an interaction socially. They're the
Yeah,
people
I
that if
don't
you
like
know
that
they're a C and you ask them to stand up at a wedding and give a speech, they're going to be like, oh my God. They do not want to do that. Whereas an I, they're like, yeah, I'll get up.
Why should I do that?
Yeah. All right. So
All right. Well.
is
all
there I hope you guys all were able to get enough information to just, you know, again, as I said, I normally take 3 hours to teach this, and you would have done an assessment ahead of time, but hopefully I gave you enough information that you could
No, it
learn
was
a little
very
bit about
interesting.
yourself.
Yeah, thank you.
And a little bit about how you can interact with each other in a way that might be a little more successful for you.
Yes.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
I know.
Thank you. Thank you so much. What is the first part?
Funny thing is, one is
Silva made it
dominant, but then
easy
you have a
because
little
she
bit of
was able to
everything.
really demonstrate in real life
Yeah.
how this works.
Yeah.
Some of these things depends the situation. You